Alright, well guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're taking a look at our next video in the Winter Thoughts series. I'm really accelerating these because we're so close to the beginning of winter that every little change is so drastic now because it doesn't have the time to really change much beyond that. So every change we're seeing now is very, very important because it's likely what we're going to see going into the winter. Anyways, before I get into the video, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I would like to know, do you think this winter is going to be one of those winters that really lingers on through the early spring months, or do you think we're going to see a very early transition to the warmer weather this upcoming early spring and late winter? Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into this video, and we're taking a look at that 90-day temperature anomaly. I wanted to show this again for those of you that have missed our most recent winter thoughts videos. But overall, we've seen some colder temperatures there for areas like Alaska, very far eastern Russia there as well, and then also Greenland. These are areas that are key during the winter, well, mostly the fall months, for developing ice and snowpack for cold later on. Because our Arctic blasts down here in the United States come from these regions. And you need to imagine, I mean, it's like a freezer, when there's more ice and more snow, it causes that air to be even colder above it. So it is very crucial, that development of ice and snow. So thankfully, we've been making these videos pretty frequently. So this is the first frame I showed. This was on November 7th. And this is what the ice pack and the snowpack looked like on November 7th. As you can see, Canada was a little bit spotty, but we had very solid for Alaska, Greenland, and then also a vast majority of Russia as well. And then the ice there, as you can see, was fairly widespread for November 7th. But I'm about to switch it towards today in 3, 2, 1, and look at how much things have progressed. Especially on the ice front, we see a lot of development, mostly there for the northern islands there of Canada. Also areas near Greenland, and then also areas near Russia and Alaska have developed very, very nicely. Probably added a good 10 to 15% there in the ice category. The snowfall, we've seen a vast, growing, large region of snowpack there for Canada, especially. In Russia, it's kind of spread further, I would say, west, very far west, and a little bit south in some spots and a little bit north in some spots. But overall, it's spread. But Canada has been the biggest development here in the snowpack category. And the thing here that's crucial to mention is that that is the most impactful area for us. As those Arctic blasts move from the very Arctic regions of the world and head down through Canada, they're going to be picking up even more cold from that snowpack that's down there as they make their way to the United States. I think we are supercharged and primed for some very, very potent cooldowns throughout the months of December and January. And how much snow we see then and how much ice development we see then will dictate what we see for February and March. But what we're seeing now is mostly going to affect December especially, but also January, the most upcoming months, I would say. Now here is our sea surface temperature anomalies, and our La Nina has developed further. We see even colder temperatures in the eastern regions of our La Nina than we did before. What's important to note here is that east-based La Ninas tend to be the coldest in the eastern United States compared to a very west-based La Nina. So there is different types of La Ninas, and we're pretty much preparing to be in one of the most favorable types of La Ninas you can really have for the eastern United States. There's no guarantees in weather, but this definitely is a good sign for sure. Also, those blues south of Alaska and also west of Canada and off the west coast of the United States as well. That area is what we call our PDO, and that has been very negative, which usually encourages colder air to set up over the western North America regions. But it has warmed up quite a bit, which I would say is a favorable thing for the eastern United States to see cold and snow. Here's the Atlantic, and as you can see, things are just warm overall, and this has been the case for a very long time, actually. Through a majority of 2020 as well, it has been this way. So we're looking at a 2-year pattern we've been in with this very warm Atlantic. Overall, over the past 7 days, though, first off, our ENSO, you can see things have cooled there in the very eastern regions, like I said. Our PDO, that area, again, off the west coast of North America, has warmed overall. And then as we zoom into the Atlantic, surprisingly, things have cooled overall, but we're still just above normal because we've been that warm in the Atlantic anyway. Here's our Nino 3.4 index chart, and this is what we use to measure our La Nina. As you can see, things were really cooling as we headed towards late October, early November, and then we saw things warm a bit for about, I would say, a week or so, and then now we're back on that cooling trend. We're just a little higher than we were at that point in late October. Things are settling towards uh, a weak La Nina to a very weak moderate La Nina, somewhere in that zero point 0.5 to 1.0 area there, as you can see, which is those two lines there um, towards the bottom. And that's going to put us right in that moderate to weak La Nina status. Like I said, here's the Nino 1+2 index, and this is measuring just the eastern regions of that La Nina. And as you can see, this one has really tanked over the past few days, and we're sitting at negative 1.5 degrees Celsius there in our Nino 1+2 region. And this is really significant because that's much colder than the overall regions. So again, very east La Nina is setting up overall. Here is the temperature forecast according to our CFS monthly model here for November, the rest of November from the 20th and beyond. As you can see, cold in the east. That's no surprise. We expect multiple Arctic blasts during that time frame. December, though, this model's now calling for a little bit of a thaw. The northeast is going to be pretty cool, so you're not really going to notice it there. But the southeast, the Gulf states, the central United States, and even some of the Four Corner states are going to be mostly warm according to this model. I would be curious to see if that is how that plays out. Even January, you can see the west is where that trough is centered, and we have a bit of a southeast ridge. But it's mostly by the time we hit February where the eastern United States really gets to feel this winter's brutal cold, because as you can see, dark blues and even greens showing up for February 2022 here on this model. The upper Midwest and the Northeast especially feeling those very, very cold temperatures on this model. Now, December through February, here's the outlook. And as you can see, mostly warm there for the southeast, the Gulf states, and then the Four Corner states, with the cold mostly being over the north central United States and the northeastern United States. And I think this is right on par with a typical east-based La Nina, in my opinion. This is very close to what we've been forecasting for oh so long. And generally, things have really played out how I thought they would for the most part as we approach the wintertime. Typically, you expect some large changes, but there hasn't been very many large changes. Now, here's the northern hemisphere temperature forecast December through February. And the important thing to note here is there's very warm temperatures over the Arctic regions, and that's allowing for that cold air to escape that region and be shoved to other regions of the world. As you can see, Russia, Greenland, Canada, United States, Alaska, all being included in the below normal temperatures this winter on this model due to those warm temperatures being over the Arctic regions. Now here's that precipitation forecast December through January, and this looks just like my winter forecast. You can see the Ohio Valley up through the northeast above normal, also the northwest above normal, and then very dry for the southern third or fourth of the United States overall. That's almost identical to my winter forecast. Now here is our most up-to-date IRI CPC ENSO chart forecast, and each one of these colored lines is a different model. As you can see, we're expected to peak pretty much right now. We should be at our peak for the La Nina. It could go down another, 0.2 to 0.5 degrees for sure. But overall, we should start to see this thing warm as we head towards February or so. And even as we approach the spring and summer months, we're expected to be in a neutral ENSO here, which would definitely be interesting. We've been in a La Nina so long that I'm pretty much excited for a change up in the outlook for sure. Definitely looking forward to what's next here in our ENSO. We've never had 3 La Ninas in a row, so it is very much so expected that we're going to be in a neutral or El Nino as we head towards next summer and next fall and next winter for sure. There's about a 90% chance of that or more that we're not in a La Nina heading into next winter, which is super interesting. For today's confidence tab, we're at a 4 out of 6. We've stayed this way for our most recent winter thoughts videos. I don't think going any higher would be necessary. For today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, how many nor'easters do you think we will see in this upcoming nor'easter pattern that we're actually going to be in over the next 10 to 15 days? And James Marsh said, I think anywhere between 1 to 3 nor'easters while we are in the pattern can be expected, and they could contain some frigid temperatures and snowfall. Now, James Marrs is becoming a pro at this, but notice he said could. That's very crucial. A lot of people want to say, oh, it will have a lot of snowfall, or it will do this, or it will do that, but it's never the way to go in the weather world. If you say could, because it's good to say that because really anything can happen. You know, these models could be totally wrong. So it's good to always side with a more conservative um, outlook on the models that, look, this could be totally different. And we see that time and time again in the weather world. So it's good to have that type of an outlook. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Larry the Pan, Mandy Birchfield, and Patrick Strickland as well. I'd also like to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Nino Harley, Michael Kotolasa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Cindy Klein, Alan Goodmaven, Bill Dallas, Gary, John Khaleesi, Dwight Phelan, Stephen Crenenthal, and Thomas D. Barr as well. I'd also like to thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox also. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.